back to Ashton Gate. It feels so good saying that with fans here. Another opportunity, and he's onside, and it's 2 for Bristol City, and this time, and it's in! An early goal for Bristol City, and Andy Vyman is back. And it goes clear header for Bristol City, and they are level. And it's a first goal for Andy King for his boyhood club.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Robins TV for our coverage of the Robins trip down to West London to take on Fulham. Now, as well as Robins TV, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube this afternoon as well. So a very good afternoon if you're watching on either of those platforms. Now, after a narrow defeat to Fulham in the FA Cup last Saturday, Nigel Pearson's men are looking for the same levels of quality and commitment as we saw last Saturday. We'll bring you all the action from Craven Cottage as it happens this afternoon. But joining me for this one is a very special guest. It's Bristol City's professional development phase coach, Neil Swift. Neil, first of all, you just felt that a corner's been turned after that performance. I know it was a defeat, but it didn't feel like one.
A very positive defeat, if we say, the intensity of play, and like you say, they did not deserve what was given to them in the previous games and then the Fulham game. So yeah, I think they've turned a corner massively.
And games like that, you know, once you turn that sort of corner, the fans are back on side a bit, and there's a bit more positivity, and that positivity leads to more positivity, doesn't it?
The players feel it on the pitch, so they hear the rumblings in the crowd. The crowd change their tone, and the players feel that positivity, and they raise their game. So it's playing for everyone to see, I think.
Now, you can just see the boys arriving here. This is one of my favourite bits, actually, because you can see everybody just settling in. Craven Cottage, obviously, an iconic ground. It's been fairly fruitful for us in the past. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Still odd, though, seeing them all arriving in masks and so on, isn't it? But nice to see them there. Right, so Fulham, first of all, they're going to be full of confidence. I mean, first of all, they know they beat us last week, but also in the week, they absolutely dismantled Reading 7-0. But it has been a fruitful away day for us in the past, as we mentioned earlier on. What sort of game can we expect today with these boys, do you think?
Like I say, I think we turned the corner. I think the intensity of the game, the play will be up. Hopefully we'll get them staying on the ball a little bit longer and controlling and managing the game that little bit better. I thought we did it very well against Fulham. We had good chances against Fulham at home out here, and I hope they carry this over, and basically it's keeping that momentum going forward. So
midfield seemed to be a focus in Nigel's sort of midweek press conferences, and I heard from my point of view on the touchline there, I heard a lot about second balls. So talk us through what that might mean.
Well, you've got the likes of Han Noah, who's very busy. He'll get around the pitch and he'll pick up the second balls for whether it's a long ball being played in or a break up of play. The transition in these games will be massive. So if we can win that transition from attacking to defending, we close off the spaces, win the ball again, then we can attack, and vice versa, from defending to attack, we can get on the front foot and play early. So the quicker we can get on those loose balls, we can nullify an attack and we can spring and hit them on the counter.
Okay, right. More expert analysis from you on the way very shortly indeed. First of all, team news is in from Craven Cottage, and with the detail, a man whose father has sailed more than 4,000 boats up and down the Bristol Channel. It's none other than our lead commentator, Toby Osborne.
Great little plug. Thank you very much, Downsy. Yes, let's have a look at today's side, starting with the home team. Marco Silva sticks with a side that had 22 shots at the Reading goal midweek, 7 of which, of course, were scored. Rodak is preferred to Gazaniga in goal. A back four consists of 2 US internationals in Tim Ream and Anthony Robinson. In midfield, Tom Kearney captains the side with Reed alongside. In front of them, an attacking trio of Cabano, former Liverpool man Harry Wilson, and a mid-transfer interest Fabio Carvalho. And then up top, as expected, Championship top scorer Mitrovic will lead the line. No place in the squad for former City man Joe Bryan, but Bobby De Cordova-Reid makes the bench. As for Bristol City, 4 changes from defeats in the FA Cup last weekend. Top goal scorer Andy Vyman returns to the starting 11 in place of Chris Martin. The power and pace of Semenyo means he's preferred to Nahki Wells. There's also changes at the back. Zach Viner comes in for Atkinson, an indication perhaps of a formation tweak. And finally, Jay De Silva starts today for the first time since November. He replaces Eamon Benarou. So really strong bench for City today. Casey Palmer getting another opportunity for minutes. He joins Backinson, Wells, Chris Martin and Eamon Benarous. So let's hear from the man who picked the side today. Nigel Pearson is with Robins TV.
Nigel, you made a few changes from last week. You brought Jay De Silva back. What do you want to see from him today?
Similar application and quality that he showed when he went on last week. So it's a few changes, but I think we need to get the balance right between being solid and also having a threat going forward. So yeah, that's the aim today, to cause them a few problems as well.
Given Andy Weiman's form, was it inevitable that he would come back and start?
It was important last week to give Andy a bit of a rest, but also give other players opportunities. I thought the whole team did really well last week, so it's not always easy to lead people out who've played well. But again, it's always about trying to get what we think is the right team to start, get the bench right. And it'll be a tough game today, but it's one that the players should really relish.
You talked in the week about not just sitting back and letting Fulham come at us. Is that being front foot really important today?
It is, but again, we've got to get the balance right. So there'll be times that we can't do that, and it's really important then that we are really compact and make it difficult. But I think more than anything, we've just got to try and replicate the good things from last week. And be a bit more ruthless when we get our chances.
It's going to be a great atmosphere with nearly 1,700 City fans.
Yeah.
What do we need to give them so they really get behind us?
Well, they need to see the same sort of commitment and quality that we showed last week. I think we've been performing relatively well, but the results haven't necessarily reflected our performances. We need to show the same qualities again.
Nigel Pearson chatting to Dave Barton at Craven Cottage there. I guess it's no great surprise that Andy Weiman starts again.
No, great energy levels that he brings to the game for the team as an individual and collectively as a unit. He's always he's an outlay ball. You can play long, you'll run in behind, but he'll also initiate the press, so he'll defend from the front as well. So he's great energy.
Just exciting as well, you know, and I guess once a striker starts scoring those goals, then it starts to build that momentum, and again, you know, that sort of breeds positivity again, doesn't it? Confidence
is everything, and he'll be wanting to play. He'll just want to play game after game because he's hit that vein of form where he's scoring goals. But his performances have been there for the team.
Now, we're going to chat to Jay De Silva a little bit later on. We had an exclusive interview with him earlier on in the week up at the HPC, but nice to see him. First time since November starting for Bristol City. Yeah, credit.
Like you say, he comes in, does his work every day, and the gaffer's calling on him now, and he's asking for him to come up and give him a honest, high-intensity display. And I think he'll get that from Jay, no problem.
And this is really important, isn't it? When you're given these opportunities, you have to kind of make the most of them, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. It might only be one opportunity you get, but you need to make it count and stand out and do something.
And Zach Viner replacing Eamon Benarous. I guess, you know, it's about squad rotation sometimes as well?
It might just be how the gaffer's looked at it, because you might be able to have a formation change and doesn't have to change a personnel from off the bench. He can do it with the players that he's got on the field. So he might have had that in mind. So he might look to start one formation and then suddenly change. He can change mid-flow without affecting it from the bench.
And it must be delightful for you, you know, in your position at the club to see some of these youngsters coming through.
For us, it's a pleasure for us. We used to quote to them as kids coming in the academy, pre-academy and 9s and 10s. We'll be happy when we see you playing out on the pitch. And all of a sudden, the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of boys come through now. So yeah, coaching staff is very happy.
Okay, well, we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. I'm sure you've got some favourites. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. But football is what we are here to watch today. So it's time to relive our last league outing and that Andy Weiman hat-trick. It was a 5-goal thriller at the beginning of the year as Bristol City took on Millwall.
Benarous and Scott particularly, given they're players that will see a lot of the ball in midfield, it doesn't seem to really affect them too much, the home crowd and everything that comes with it.
No, not at all. I think, all through the academy.
That's a really poor clearance. Is there an opening goal? There is! And it's Andy Weiman, hits double figures for the season. A really sloppy clearance from Biakowski. And it's first blood to Bristol City at Ashton Gate.
That's a great finish. I mean, early in the game, you can have that rush of blood and snatch at it, but he's just, you know, you can see the concentration there, and he's just put his laces through the ball. Poor, terrible clearance here. Look, it just composes himself. That's a great finish. Well done.
Does just enough, Andy Vyman, just to nicely loft it up above the goalkeeper.
And encourage Millwall onto us.
Here's Tom Bradshaw arriving, and it's an equaliser. It's now 5-5 for the Welshman. And again, that just comes out of nowhere. Matty James will be kicking himself because Viner was away in the attack prior to that. Slides it through to Benikafobi, and that's a really rash challenge there from Towler. Looks as though it's a penalty as well. It's a yellow card for Riley Towler. A sloppy challenge. Well, Benikafobi with a chance to score against his former club. Max O'Leary in front of him, and this time he is beaten. In from Masengo, what a ball that is, and what a finish! Bristol City are level. And as he's done already this season, Andy Vyman strikes twice. What a ball from Masengo that is.
Suicidal passes on the edge
Threaded
of the
through
box.
by Masengo. Here's Semenyo.
Goal.
Now Alex Scott's off the line.
Match ball.
Andy Vyman has the hat-trick. Bristol City take the lead again. And how about that? Andy Vyman, what a hero in a Bristol City shirt again. Masengo threads it through the eye of a needle. You thought Scott would finish. Vyman does the rest.
And it's games like that that make it all worthwhile.
Oh, it does.
So tell us a little bit about your role. I mean, professional development phase coach, what does that actually mean?
Basically, we're the last step between they go into the first team. So the 23s are literally the old-fashioned reserve team now, where it's basically the development phase is given more time to players to develop. Instead of going into a second team or into league football, they get that little window. It gives them that physical development time to mature as a player and as an individual.
Which is so important, isn't
Yes,
it? Because, you know, some of these lads, obviously, football's all they've ever known. They have no sort of like, you know, worldly knowledge, and it's sort of so focused. So I guess part of your role is educational as well.
There's so many variables that can have an outcome on an individual's pathway. So it's basically giving them that extra window of opportunity to develop physically, tactically, technically. So and it works. And once we achieve that, with Brian Tinian, we got a lot of the boys out in league debuts and playing in league football, so they get their loan spells, come back to us, and you see a massive change in them. So they get a good grind in here, but they also learn when they go outside the club and come back to us, and you see massive changes. Awara Edwards just been in training with us today, and wow, it's made a big difference with him being out on loan. So he's developing even though he's not with us, but hopefully we do that groundwork with them. Yeah. So it's positive, really positive.
Proud moments.
All right,
we'll talk more about that on the way very shortly indeed. Still to come on Robins TV, more football. The last time we were in West London was in 2019. We'll relive some of those moments, and we've been up at the HPC for an exclusive chat with that man who's not started since November. Jay Da Silva chats exclusively to us at Robins TV on the way after the break. some amazing memories there of our previous encounters with Fulham. So excited about it. A really popular away day as well. Over 1,600 Bristol City fans making their way to the capital this afternoon. Right, let's move on to another exclusive chat. Up to the HPC we go when Robin's TV reporter Dan White caught up with none other than that man starting today for the first time since November, Jay Da Silva.
Right, Jay, welcome to Robin's TV.
Yes.
This is your 4th season now at Bristol City. You've now spent as much time here as you did in the youth teams at Chelsea. So how comfortable are you here now?
Yeah, very comfortable. I thought it's gone really quick. I probably haven't had as much time playing as I would have hoped. Kind of a reoccurring injury I've kind of dealt with. But yeah, hopefully that's past me now and I can get playing a lot more.
But wearing the red of Bristol City feels pretty natural for you now.
Yes, definitely.
I was going to ask you about Chelsea actually, because on the outside looking in, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like they have so many prospects like yourself that it feels almost impossible to break through. So how did you find your time there?
Yeah, a little bit like that, you could say. I just think it was important for me to get out properly and start playing. Obviously, for some people, the pathway is a bit different. A bit easier. For some people, it might seem a lot further away. For me, it was probably that case. So it was a good step for me to join Bristol.
Yeah, having said all that though, I mean, what a place to learn your craft, right? When you're a teenager. Yeah,
it was really good. Some good memories. Really fun. The players that we had, the teams that we had, was really good memories. And I owe a lot to them for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I didn't realise that you're one of 4 brothers, I think. And
one of 5.
One of 5 brothers. And I think, are you nearly all professional footballers? Footballers in some respect?
4 of us. 4 of us
brothers
play football.
Yeah. So where are you all playing? So you're here.
So I'm here. One of my brothers is currently playing Croatia right now. Another brother is playing for Hitchin Town. And then another player that used to play, he actually played at Luton for a bit. He doesn't play no more, but 4 footballing brothers. The oldest brother don't play,
Yeah. He didn't want anything to do with it. So did you have any choice then but to be a professional footballer? If all your brothers are getting into it?
Yeah, not really. That's all thinking back, that's all I've ever known. Just from as young as I can remember, I've always been playing football. I think it's helped having brothers. My 2 younger brothers are twins, they're only a year younger than me, so we're basically triplets. So we've for as young as I can remember, we were always playing football together. So
quite a five-a-side team.
Yeah.
And what was football like in your house then? Was your parents are into football, presumably?
Yeah. My dad played. My mum was always around football. Her dad was like a coach and stuff. So yeah, she was always around football. So yeah, it's always been football mad since.
In the blood.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish off by getting your highlight of your time here at Ashton Gate so far. So 4 years at the club, or nearly 4 years at the club. Can you pick a favourite memory?
Probably my goal, my only goal. That's my only professional goal as well. So I'd have to say that, and it was a good win as well. We came from 1-0 down. I scored.
Huddersfield.
Yeah, Huddersfield away. I scored, and I set up the second goal as well. So
I remember that.
Yeah. That's probably my best memory.
More memories to come on the way, hopefully, and more goals.
Yeah,
Let's hope more goals from Jay Da Silva too. Thanks, Jay.
Cheers.
Always looks like he's got a smile on his face. Seems like a happy chap.
He is. Always a positive personality around the ground. And it always takes time to talk to people as well. So if you pass him in the corridors, even under the COVID times, he's always willing to stop and have a chat, which is positive.
I guess it's always difficult as well when you're not being picked for the starting 11 and someone's essentially taking your place.
That's where his positive demeanour comes in, because he doesn't let it affect him. You'll see the same Jay Da Silva whether he's playing or not playing, which is a credit to him as an individual. I think you'll find it's very positive.
Must be quite difficult though sometimes to create that positivity. You have to get into a bit of a headspace with it, because that's football, isn't it, at the end of the day?
It's understanding that is the game, and you might be getting left out just on a sheer tactical reason. So it's taken on board what's being said and what's being put on the grass at the time. You might realise it's not you, it is solely tactical reasons. So it's just understanding that, like you say, dealing with it but putting a positive slant on it as well, which is very good.
Always got time for everyone, as RJ. Good. All right, thanks, Neil. Time for some more footy action now on Robins TV. And believe it or not, it was 2019 the last time we made an appearance at Craven Cottage. Remember names like Josh Brownhill and Famara Jeju? They were on the score sheet to pull off a memorable win. Let's take a look.
Hansen tries to step in. Vyman rolls it to the right. Cross is clipped in and the header goalwards. And a let-off this time for Fulham. It was straight at Rodak. Really seen Fulham been opened up this afternoon. Vyman again finding space once more. Now Brownhill rolls it out to the far side to Hunt. He sends in the cross, dangerous delivery, and it's defended well. Ball still alive, cross comes in once more. Josh Brownhill was left all alone, and Fulham pay the price. Great first ball in, which was brilliantly defended by Adoy. And then the cross came in, and Brownhill making no mistake with the header. Bristol City ahead. Can Fulham find a way back into this game? Monema, then it's pushed forwards. Chance here, bearing down on goal. Anthony Knockout, and Bentley denies him. Knockout really should have finished this. Good save by Bentley. Sensing something here. Naj continues his burst into the box, and Jeju is free! 2-0 to Bristol City. Fulham unstitched by a quick combination of passes, and Jeju will never have an easier goal. Brilliantly worked, and Bristol City on course for all 3 points. Adoy, he whips in the cross. He'll break at the back post. Cabano shifts it onto his right foot, and it's beaten away by Bentley, but Fulham finally find a way through. Is there time? Fine save by Bentley, but he could only push it to Kamara, who fired it into the near post. And there is work to do now for Bristol City. There is the full-time whistle. A thrilling encounter, the Championship at its absorbing best. And it is Bristol City who celebrate. They've won at the Cottage again by 2-1.
Great stuff. Right, time to say goodbye to our viewers on Facebook and YouTube. EFL restrictions mean we can't show you the game, unfortunately, but you can buy an audio pass at bcfc.co.uk. We'll see you for that big 7-side derby, which is happening next Saturday. However, for those of you that can remain, we'll see you on the